welcome back, Star Citizens, to the guides. We're going to be discussing something very important, near and dear to a lot of us here, survival. We had a great panel discussion live on our stream July 19th. Thanks for those who showed up for that. We had a very fun time, and this video is basically that day that we had everything discussed about survival. A lot of us tend to think about the stars and exploring in space and, you know, what's out there in the cosmos, but when it comes down to it, what about exploring the planet? What's on the planet? How in-depth will exploration be on a planet when it comes to survival? If food isn't needed, is survival really kind of pointless? You know, does it make it that immersive? We talk about this in our panel. And of course, we have a poll down below that's still ongoing. You guys can vote on whether you want survival in Star Citizen or not, because we are in the development stage. That's why we do these videos here. We do these videos because we want a game that is for all of us. Not just some of us, but all of us. And we have a voice here. You have a voice here. Welcome to the games. And now, without further ado, let's go into our live streamed event where I had a really fun day with citizens there, and we talk about survival. So let's get to it, citizens. Enjoy the video.
Survival is a big thing. I mean, let's just break it down for everyone. Any game you play, and I say any game, doesn't matter what type of game, there's some sort of survival aspect in that game. I don't care what game. You could name any game and I can guarantee you I could point out that's a survival aspect. A first aid pack. You need ammo for a gun. That's survival aspect.
Right. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, the survival video is like how your immersion would break if, for instance, there's 67. No, I think it was even a higher percentage, but I'm gonna lowball it. I researched this. I saw a video where Chris Roberts was in Germany talking to a German crowd with a translator, and he said that I believe the figure was north of 67%. Of the people wanted to play the game. They pulled it. SIG pulled it. Wanted to play the game because of exploration. And that makes sense because we're humans. We like to explore. You know, like we continue to explore. I mean, that's in our hearts. So it makes sense. That's why people want to play the game. Now, you're exploring in Star Citizen. You want the immersion quality. You signed on because you wanted to play. And then you go down to the planet. We talked about this before. You land on the planet. You're stranded, you can't get off the planet, and now what? You can live forever all of a sudden? What happens to the search and rescue divisions of people that really want to make money off of search and rescue? There's a whole industry gone. The food service industry is not going to be there because people need to eat. It's going to be there like a fluff piece. Like, oh, here's your pastry. You're eating it in front of like one of the amazing monuments. I mean, I can't get into that. I can't get into that. I don't want to eat just to watch my character eat. I think the most important criteria is that you actually have to have humans affect a resource. And in order for humans to affect the resource, the pricing, the object in the game has to have substantial intrinsic value, meaning it needs to be important. Okay? And that means that food in itself has to be important. Otherwise, food is not really a market item. In order for food to actually be a market item, you need the need for it. It has to keep you alive, not just buffs, not just giving you extra doodad days. If you're down on the planet and you're starving to death, but you're not dying, it really ruins that immersion quality. And for the economy's sake, too, you need food to matter. It has to keep you alive.
Really? Do they completely go the EVE Online way, where it's all player driven? And I say Oh, now look at where Eve has done. There's a comparison. What do you guys think? I open that up.
For people who just start a game, don't have enough money for buying all this stuff. But you can also have situations where where things will be way too cheap.
Let's break it down, okay? Now, according to Chris Roberts, us humans are going to be like 10% of the total population out there. What does that actually mean? The 90% of the rest of it are all going to be NPCs. So do we as humans directly affect the economy? Now, Al's going on about food. What do you think about the actual, that aspect, Al? I know you're the host of the show. I'm just opening this up to, a broader...
I love this.
Yeah, a broader thing. What do you actually think of what I've just mentioned before about the actual economy, about the percentage of human versus NPC?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Yeah, I don't like it. I've mentioned it before in past videos in my economy video. I don't like 1090 split. I understand why they're doing it. I think why they are doing the 1090 is because it's very similar to when you start a new economy in any nation. When the government says, okay, we got to be very careful. We got to tiptoe into this, make sure that the currency is stable, make sure that the items within the market are selling at an actual real rate that people can afford, and they police it. So like any new country that starts up has some type of federal government, like we have the Federal Reserve. So in America, the Federal Reserve comes out and they print extra money if they think that we have times where we need the extra money. And then you have instances where the money isn't worth as much because more of it's printed. And then you have times when they take the money away and the money becomes more valuable, but other things lose value. Like it's a constant tug of war. So, but 1090 is awfully, I think it's a little too safe. I think it doesn't give enough credence to putting the power in the hands of humans. And I think what it's really saying is that SIG is very unsure how the economy is going to even be. So they're saying like, we're going to have all the power. We're going to dictate pricing. We're going to give you guys missions. We're going to let you guys grind. And we're going to tell you what the items are going to cost, and your guys aren't going to have any effect over them. Now, I like that to a degree when the game starts out, but I want to see that kind of like very similar in which the Federal Reserve does is, in times where they see like mortgage rates going down, or they see like pricing of like assets like oil go down, and like what they do is they become a little bit more lax, and they let the traders and they let the people in the stock exchange say, they give them a little bit more oomph on like how to manipulate it. Now, when it becomes over manipulated, then the government comes in and says, no. The SEC, the Security and Exchange Commissions come in and slap some fines down, and then everybody goes back to like, oh shit, they're policing us again. And that's kind of like the real life split.
Do you really want Star Citizen to end up like the market on Eve? My answer to that is no. I don't want players controlling 100% of that market, because if you go on Eve right now, or a game like that, and you try and buy something, just buy something off that, the prices on there are extortionate. I'm sorry. And you don't know what half that stuff. I don't want it like that. You're gonna hate me. I'm sorry, Digger. I had to make that point. I'm sorry.
Right. No, that's okay. A counterpoint is this: if you are a trader or a manufacturer or science, a particular researcher, then you will love the extortion quality of the game, because you're making so many. For instance, Eve is split up in a manner in which the center or the core of the universe is completely policed, which is called Empire. And then, well, not necessarily Empire. There's 4 different races. Well, 5 if you count Jovian. But and then everything out from the center is what's called nullsec, which is 0.0. And that's kind of like the area where people really make a lot of money, because if you can get out there without getting jacked by a pirate or a fleet, then you could literally set up shop and make tons of money there. But you can't do so much. I mean, the manipulation of markets within the areas that are quote unquote safe or policed is very minimal compared to, the farther you go out. And the farther you go out, then yes, I agree with you. But if you're taking that risk, in my mind, if you're taking the risk to go out that far, then you should be able to jack something up. And by the way, anybody that's out that far anyway has the money to spend like the extortionist prices that are there. And I agree. I actually agree. Like, you know, but like, to what point would you like them to be policed? Like, say if you were an active trader, if you're active manufacturer, and you made things or you traded things and you weren't making profit because it was so policed, then wouldn't you be turned off to the game? So that's like the other point that I have to bring up about, you know, if the game itself, Star Citizen, wants to bring in as many people, and you say, okay, well, you can sell this, but you can only sell this from this range to this range, then I think what you're going to do is you're going to turn off a lot of people who want the variance, who want to be able to actually have the control to, I mean, that's what a market is. I mean, like, if I want to buy gas today, it's $1.82. If I want to buy gas tomorrow, it could be $2.06. As a consumer, I have to bear the price of whatever they say it's worth. I can't say, oh, hold on a second, I'm not paying that. I'm paying $1.86. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have no control over that. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like, if we as the consumer had that type of control, then the economy wouldn't be a real economy, and we'd all be fucking broken, and there would be we wouldn't work on a monetary system anymore. We'd just take loaves of bread and water every single day, and they'd tell us what kind of rations we would get.
What's your thought about actual survival aspects in a game? Do you want it like full on? So, for example, you have to literally log in every hour to feed your character. Because me personally, I don't want that. What about if I'm at work? What about if I'm not near a computer? You know, people are not thinking about this logic. I don't know Sergeant, what do you think about that?
First of all, I don't want to play any game, honestly, to log in every hour to get my food, even in survival games themselves.
Yeah. But there's some
I want to play Star Citizen, you know, for the exploration, the trading, things, also a bit of combat. It kind of ruins it if you have to feed yourself every hour, even if it's just in-game. The timer starts only when you're in-game. I don't want to feed myself every hour. Maybe it's like, I don't know, 6 hours of gameplay equals you need to eat once and drink once.
I would say, okay, here's what I mean, like, this is what I suggest, and I mean, like, in order, nobody wants to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to log in every hour. That's ridiculous. I don't want to log in every 6 hours. I don't want to log in every week. Then there should be like a timer in your Moby Glass that is set for, like, I don't know. Let's be realistic here. Let's say like 10 days.
In-game days or real
and the
life
timer
days?
In-game, I would like there to be like a timer that was a very slow timer, you know, where you would have to actually find, acquire, buy, whatever you have to do with food or drink or both, you know, that would keep you alive in a 10 or 14 day span, that you would have to actually have some type of food near you, whether you hunt it or whether you're buying it. Or yeah, and then you eat it, and then that timer is then refreshed, and that would give, and that one simple thing, and it's not hard to do, and it's not intensive. It's not like the every hour thing. It isn't. But what it does, as simple as that, is it actually gives value to food. And by giving value to food, you've now made people who are in the food industry an actual business. You have actually give them a job. Right. You've given them a job, and you've given the whole sector credibility. Otherwise, who's going to get in it? Who's going to get into the food industry if food isn't really needed? And that timer, very lax. I mean, if you ask me, every 10 or 14 days to log in just to buy like a piece of bread or whatever the hell you would need, you know, it wouldn't be stringent. It wouldn't have to be strict. Now you could set like different types of. There's somebody scraping a bowl.
It's not me. Cut that.
Blade
Sorry.
Yeah, cut that bit out as well. Yeah. Yeah. There's a load of comments on the stream.
It's like eating a bowl of like.
Is it a famous cereal? Please
Shit.
don't, on stream. This bit will be cut out. Sergeant Blaine is eating a famous brand of cereals.
It's in cereal. It's not cereal.
Oh, it's not cereal. It's not the famous Tiger Frosted
Macaroni.
Flakes. What? Macaroni? This will not be on the video.
We're talking about survival and he's fucking eating. Now imagine you wouldn't have to do that in real life. You wouldn't need real life food. Fuck macaroni.
Macaroni. Oh my god, Sergeant. Really? Give me that.
I'm talking about survival, and I'm on a topic, and then all of a sudden I hear like clear as a fucking bell, like ding 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 ding. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Totally broke my concentration. It's like a bell in the distance, like a dinner bell. Like I all of a sudden got very hungry. I'm like, where the fuck is
let's compose
ding,
ourselves.
ding,
Gentlemen.
ding, ding.
Time out, gentlemen. Time
I
out.
am crying from the laughing.
If there's anything in the game that doesn't have a value to it that's affected by us, then I think that's a huge turnoff for people who like to trade or manufacture.
Like me.
Yeah, and
But
I
I
want
wanna
to
be
be
a
able to
trader.
manufacture food, right? And I want everything that you trade to actually be worth trading. Otherwise, I mean, I understand. Like Ray was talking about, 90-10 split. You know, most of it's going to be NPC. I get it. Most of it's going to be NPC manufacturing. Most of it's going to be NPC missions, and it's kind of very bland to start with.
All this intertwines, no matter what if you really break it down, it intertwines with one and another. No matter what you think about food, water, well, how's food grown? How's water? Trading. Well, trading commodities of any type, fuel, weapons, armor, clothing, you name it. It's going to be here in some respects. Ships. Well, the ships have to be built somehow. How the hell do they get their resources? You got the miners. You got that whole division. If you're out there getting shot down, you're stuck on a planet you call a hospital ship or a rescue ship. You take all of this out of the game. What are you left with? What are you left with?
That's excellent. Okay, here's where I stand. I want a game that was promised to me. I saw Star Citizen and I was immediately entranced by it because it said I could be anything that I wanted to be. It said imagine. And I was just like, boom. And I took everything that was around me now and I said it's in the game, except I'm in the 30th century and I can do anything that I've never seen a space sim where you actually have an FPS aspect to it, where you have a market aspect to it, where you can do everything that you want to do basically now. They're going to start limiting things, then I get a little bit nervous, and that's why I make the videos that I make here on the channel. I get worried because when what Ray's talking about right now is like, okay, you take it down to the very basic prime directive, if I shall say, and that is this: in order for the game to be immersive, in order for the game to be real, it has to follow through on making. You have to make it an immersive experience down to the little molecule of everything, and that's why I think the game is just very hard to envelop with a lot of people. So many different ideas of what people want in this game. It makes it very hard for the designers to say, okay, we got to put this in, we got to put this in, we got to put this in. They don't have a certain type of budget, but like what the most important thing in the game to me to make the game real is the economy. Now, a lot of people will disagree with me, but like, if I'm walking around and I want pricing on something, if I want to sell something, credits are going to be important just like they are in real life. Money's important in real life. It's not the only thing. Relationships and friendships go over money any day, any given day. But like when you're talking about walking around in an immersive type virtual experience, you want to make sure that those things that are around you actually have physical, tangible values based upon us, not upon NPCs, not upon like what somebody's programming into the game, not to what somebody's coding into it. If I'm a miner and I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I find big asteroids worth lots of fucking money, and that ore can get me lots of money and I can take it to point A and to point B, I want to make sure that the ore is priced correctly. I want to have control over the pricing. I don't want to go out and grind for it. I don't want to go out and then like take a mission and say I have to grind XYZ of ore, then take it back and sell to an NPC manufacturing plant so that they can make whatever it is, and then I buy it from the NPC at a set price because that's the way the game is, because nobody designed that it could be actually real. Let me just show you something here. Should survival be an aspect to Star Citizen? Here's the poll. You guys can see it on the stream right now. I had a poll, a very simple poll. It said, should survival be an aspect to Star Citizen? Has 11,000 views on it, 411 votes. A lot of people say, oh, the sample size is too small, 411 votes. But from day one, I've seen the same percentages. None of the percentages has changed since the first, well, I mean, obviously, it couldn't be just the first vote, but since the first 100 votes. It has always been yes, 93 to 94%, and there's always been no, 6 to 7%. You have 7% of people to say, oh, don't even put survival in the game. Now, that's ridiculous. Those 7% of people are speaking the loudest.
How many DLCs do you pay for a game? Let's take, Grand Theft Auto, for example. I know this is going to get copyrighted. You probably cut this out. Grand Theft Auto. Let's take many other. I know. Battlefield.
That's relevant.
Battlefront.
Battlefront.
Yeah.
WoW. You have to pay for these DLCs. Not in Star Citizen, you don't. This all comes for nothing. And all you need is a game package. Wow.
$40.
$40
Right.
for a game.
And
That's my point.
now,
It keeps updating for free.
For free.
I'm going to show something here on the stream. I'm going to bring some more information on here on the stream. If you guys are watching the stream, this will be on the video as well. Here are the latest stats for the Star Citizen support. You have 1.4 million Star Citizens right now. Okay? I would imagine that, you know, taking our pool of like 411 is so small and infinitesimal that you can't even compare and say, oh, there's still 94% that want survival to it. I get it. I understand it. But bigger issues have come to light within the last year. A lot of people are looking at the game and they're saying, hey, what exactly is the game going to be? They're getting confused. This past year, a lot of people have actually dropped support, and you can see it on this chart. If you look at it, here's the data in December of 2015. You can see it. It goes from 5.1 million in 1 month raised down to under 2.8, down to 2.1, underneath it, shooting down below 2 million in May, and then June shooting back up to 2.1. But it literally lost over half of the funding that it used to get on average from last year, because this year people are saying, why is it taking so long, number one? And number two, what the fuck is going to be in this game? They don't know what's going to be in the game anymore, and that is why I make the videos that I make about big topics. Because we are in the stage of development, we have to talk about what we want in the game. Whether whatever it is that you want or don't want, this is the time to say it. And that's why Ray and I make the videos that we make. Well, but I would just personally like to thank today both Ray and Blaine for joining me here on this panel. It's been a pleasure.
Yep.
You guys are absolutely amazing for helping out. And please, so that you guys know, here is his channel. Go click on his card. Really appreciate it if you guys go over and subscribe to Ray. Subscribe to me, and Blaine will be doing a Crafty Craft series, which is a Minecraft series on the channel, which I'm really excited about, so stay tuned for that. We have a free Minecraft server, we have a free TeamSpeak server, we've got a League of Legends club of 30 members, we have a great Steam group, a good community, and obviously we have giveaways every single month. We have a great Star Citizen giveaway you can check out right here. So a lot here on the games. Thank you for subscribing to us. Thank you for supporting us. And don't forget to check out all the social media that the games has. Join it, like it, favorite it, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. I just want you to have some entertainment. And if you do like it, check out our Patreon page here and become a patron. We'd really appreciate that to continue our amazing giveaways that we have here every single month and to support our amazing community. I look forward to making another video for everyone, and stay tuned for more Star Citizen, because we will always have it here on the channel. Thank you, gamers. Thank you, citizens.